listen.
Oh,
I forgot now
experience.
what we did. We went down and you.
Thank you all for coming. Why don't we try to find a comfortable seat at the top of your mat? In the interest of distancing, I'm going to sit probably in the middle of my mat, but
Can you see Mari?
and find a comfortable seat. You can cross your legs at the ankle. Doesn't matter how far you bring them in. If you're flexible enough, you can go into lotus position, half lotus position, but you just want to find something that's comfortable. Your hands can be in your knees, at your knees. They can be in your lap. Either way. But let's start off by just getting grounded. Sitting here on our mat and trying to forget everything that happened before we got to our mat. And let's not spend time thinking about our to-do list after. But let's start to be present. If it's comfortable for you, you can close the eyes. And we will just start with some deep breaths. Just being present in this space right now. Yoga really is a journey of the self, through the self, to the self. So while you sit here on your mat, taking deep breaths, that's all I want you to think about, is being present with yourself. Couple more deep breaths. Let's allow the eyes to open. And take your hands just overhead. Raise them up to the sky. And we're going to do some seated twists. So we'll put left hand on the right knee, and let your right hand reach behind your right hip. And just do very easy spinal twists. Don't go too far. On an inhale, we'll come back to the front, arms overhead, and we'll take this over to the left. Right hand on left knee. Let your left hand go behind your hip. Easy spinal twist. On an inhale, let's do that one more time. Arms are up. We'll go to the right. Inhale to front. And let's exhale to left. Inhale, arms are up once more. And let's fold front. On our exhale, take another inhale. And as we exhale, see if we can walk the fingers just a little bit more. Take another inhale. Exhale, and let's walk the fingers back. I'm going to take another side bend to the right. This time, just your hand out to the right side. Your left arm is up. Let's do a seated side body stretch. So just getting a nice stretch in the side body while seated. Exhale brings us up to the top. And let's do side body stretch to the left. And then let's come back to seated. I know that in this class we have a lot of different experiences and abilities with yoga, so I will treat this class as a beginner, which means I'm trying to cue all of the poses. I will attempt to give variations and modifications, but I want you to remember that this is your practice. So if I'm cueing something that does not feel good for you, don't do it, okay? I will give those modifications. You can always go to child pose, which I will share child's pose. But remember the breath, always. If you're breathing and conscious of your breath, you are practicing yoga, okay? So I don't want us to get stuck into what poses are supposed to look like. Okay, let's meet in tabletop pose, hands, knees. And we'll do a little cat-cow, and this again is to work on and warm up the spine. So with an inhale, we are going to drop the belly for cow. Inhale, and then exhale to cat. We are arching the back. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Let's do a couple more rounds. Inhale for cow, arching the back. Exhale to cat. And now let's go into a stable tabletop. Here, let's try a little more spine work with balance. If this works for you, I want you to extend your right leg to the back, arching that right foot. If that is not accessible, feel free to stay here in tabletop and do more cat-cow. If you're comfortable here with the leg stretched, put out your left arm, hands straight out, fingers wide, as if you were going to reach for someone's hand. We're not doing that now in the pandemic. But this is a spinal balance. If you are comfortable here, we call this bird dog pose. Let's do a bird dog crunch. So we're going to take knee to elbow. Exhale. Let's do another one. Inhale, knee to elbow. Then exhale, and knee and hand down to the earth. Again, on the left side, we'll stretch out left leg. We want to arch in that left foot. And if you're comfortable here, the right hand, arms out. Our bird dog balance pose, if you're comfortable. Again, we'll take that crunch, knee to elbow. Inhale, and then exhale it out. Let's take one more crunch. And then we'll meet back in tabletop. So a couple more cat-cows before we move to standing. Inhale for cow, back is arch. Exhale for cat, back is arch. Inhale for cow, drop the belly. Inhale for cat. And now we'll meet in a standing pose at the front of our mat. Again, you can be at the front. I will remain in the middle of my mat. We'll see more warm-up pose. We're in mountain pose. And arms are up. And again, we'll take another side bend. So your right arm be down at your side. And again, we'll stretch the body to the left. Nice stretch. You should feel that in the side. With an inhale, arms are back up. And drop left hand. And we arch again. Putting a nice stretch in that right body, the right side. Arms are back up. Another variation of this is you can have right hand, grab left wrist, and then we, again, to the side, the right side, giving the left side a stretch. Arms are back up. Left hand grabs right wrist. And we, again, stretching that right side to the left. Arms are up. Let's fold front. All the way down. With an inhale, we do a halfway lift. Exhale, back down. On an inhale, we are all the way up. Arms are up to the sky. And then hands go to prayer. Another exhale, arms are up. Forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Forward fold on exhale. And we rise, arms are back up. On an inhale, exhale, hands to prayer. Let's do that 2 more times as we warm up. Arms are up. Exhale, fold front. Halfway lift. Fold down. Arms are back up. Exhale to prayer. Arms are up. Fold front. Halfway lift. Fold front. Back up, arms overhead, and back to prayer. I'm gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Okay, let's move into our first flow. Arms overhead, fold forward, halfway lift, and let's come into plank pose. You can take half plank if you like to have knees down. You can take full plank. And here we will lower all the way to the belly. Hands are by your rib cage, and we're up just for half cobra. You can take that to full cobra. Some of us can do upward dog if that's comfortable for you. But if you're in half cobra, now tuck the toes and we're going to go to our first downward dog of the day. Here in downward dog, go ahead and pedal the feet. You should feel a stretch in those calves. In downward dog, your hands are wide on the earth. There's space between your fingers. You want to drop your head. Don't hold your head. Drop your head as you pedal the feet. Take any movement you need to get those kinks out. Let's take a couple more breaths in downward dog. And then we'll meet at the front of the mat. You can walk, hop, any way you need to get to the front of your mat. We'll meet there in a forward fold. Okay. Open arms. We are standing. Arms are up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. And back to plank. And let's stay here in plank. Remember to breathe. That breath can be audible. Let's go to the mat. Belly's on the mat. And we raise up into baby cobra, full cobra, or upward dog where your arms are straight. Tuck the toes, back to downward dog. Here, let's float that right leg up. And move the ankle around. Open the hip on that right leg. Get those kinks out. Let's put the right leg back on straight. And then we're going to bring the right leg up to front as close as we can to meet our hands. Halfway. And now we're in a forward lunge. We'll stay here for a couple of breaths. And we are going to warrior one. So take the back foot, plant it at a 45-degree angle, and arms overhead. It's our warrior one. And this is our first warrior one. Let's stay here for a few minutes. And then we'll go to warrior two. Arms are out at the side for warrior two. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Front leg is still bent, almost at a 90-degree angle. Arms are reaching in both directions. You feel that right arm is reaching front, left arm is reaching back. And now we're going to cartwheel those hands back to the floor. We're in plank pose. Down to the belly. We'll take our vinyasa here, baby cobra or upward facing dog. Back to downward dog. We're going to do the left side and then we'll go on to a rest. Left foot up. Move the ankle around. Open the hip. We're just getting started on that left side. Work the kinks out. Put left foot on straight. And bring the left foot up front. You can reach it up front, drag it any way you need to get that left foot up front. Right foot pivots flat, 45-degree angle, and we're at Warrior One. Couple breaths at Warrior One. Arms out to a T for Warrior Two. You want your knee the same position. Couple breaths. Arms cartwheel down. We are back to the mat. And plank. And now let's go into child's pose. You can take child's pose with your arms outstretched, space between the knees, or you can have your arms alongside. But you want forehead to the ground, whatever is comfortable for you. And we just want to take this moment to get back to the breath, which is really the most important part of our practice. Take a moment to reset. And remember our journey to ourselves. And when you're ready, in a couple of breaths, we'll meet back in downward dog. You are welcome to stay in child's pose and meet us when you're ready. Wherever you are, remember to breathe. Okay, if you're in downward dog, right foot is up on an inhale. And on the exhale, right foot meets hands front. We are again back to Warrior One. And inhale, exhale to Warrior Two. And here we're going to add on, okay? So from Warrior Two, take a moment, take some water if you need water. We'll go to a side angle.
I think I'm
Arms.
ready for this yet.
Right arm on right knee, and left hand reaches up, or left hand can reach forward. Back to Warrior Two. Oh, Mom? Oh, yes. Please get some water. Feel free to get water. We'll be here when you come back. We'll reverse the warrior. Back to side angle. Again, that right knee is at almost 90 degree, or an elbow on knee, and left arm is up. And if it's accessible, take your eyes up to that left hand. Look at your left fingers. If not, you can look down. Again, we're back to Warrior Two. And then we're going to cartwheel hands down to the floor. Go to plank pose. Once again to your vinyasa. Lower down to the belly. With an inhale, up dog. We'll do just the left side again. Take a break. Down to downward dog. Couple breaths in downward dog. Left foot is up. With an exhale, left foot is front. And we're back to Warrior One. On an inhale, Warrior Two. Side angle, left elbow to knee. Now right arm is up. Couple breaths here. Then back to Warrior Two. Arms are to a T. Get settled here in this posture. One more time, back to side angle. Right arm is reaching up. Remember to breathe. And then we are back to Warrior Two. Reverse the warrior. And then we will cartwheel those hands down back to our mat. Let's spend a little time here. Forehead to the earth. Please take some water if you could use some water. Hot yoga is not easy for even those experienced and advanced. Take a couple breaths here. And we will do one more flow, same flow, before we slow down. So when you're ready, back to downward dog. Right leg is up. And take right leg through the hands, back to warrior one. On an exhale, warrior two. Side angle. Back to warrior two. Arms are out at a T. Reverse the warrior. And here in reverse warrior, that left arm can go behind the back. It can go down the leg. Back to warrior two. Arms are to a T. And then we'll cartwheel those hands down to the earth. To plank, take your vinyasa down to the belly. On an inhale, baby cobra or up dog. And then back to downward dog one more time. This is our last side of our flow. The left foot is up on an inhale. Bring your left foot forward. One more time. We are in warrior one where the right foot goes flat at a 45-degree angle. Arms are up. To warrior two. Arms are to a T. We do side angle where we're leaning forward. That left hand, arm, elbow is on left knee, right arm is up. Back to warrior two. On an inhale, we reverse our warrior. Back to warrior two. And then we'll cartwheel those hands back down to the earth. Here in plank pose, take a vinyasa or not. You can be an upward dog, baby cobra, and back to downward dog. From downward dog, we'll be in child's pose. And let's stay here for a couple breaths. Child's pose can be an active pose where the knees are stretched, they're given some space. Hands are reaching forward, and if you want it to be an active pose, you can let both fingers crawl to find a stretch in the upper back, shoulder blades area. Or you can take child's pose with hands by your side. Let's take a moment to catch our breath. Okay, let's meet in a table pose. And we're going to do a pose, thread the needle, get another stretch in the shoulder and upper back. So take your right arm up to the side. And then you're going to bring it through behind the left. We call that threading the needle. Come down to your shoulder. You should feel a stretch. You can stay here, or you can bring left hand around the back if you'd like just a bit of a deeper stretch. Let's take a couple breaths. Bring left hand back to the earth, and let's take the right arm up. On an exhale, set the right hand down to the earth. And for the left side, let's take the left hand up on an inhale. And we'll bring that left arm through, threading the needle. Down to your shoulder. Again, you can leave the right hand where it is. You can take right arm around the back or near your left hip. Let's breathe. Okay. Bring hands back to the earth. Let's take left arm up. Complete that stretch. And we're in table pose. One more thing before we rest in Savasana, let's do a little bit of core work. So let's meet back in a seated position. Thank you, everybody in a seated position. Please grab water if you need water. Water is perfectly fine. We're just going to come back, do some core work. If you need a towel. I know, I'm sorry, I did not tell everyone this would be hot vinyasa, but that's what it's turned out to be. So hot vinyasa is good. We're getting out some of these impurities. So let's wait here for a second. Again, while we are waiting, let's make sure we meet back up with the breath. We're back in that cross-legged pose from the beginning of class, and we are inhaling and exhaling. A couple more breaths, and then we will meet in boat pose. For our boat, if comfortable, you can have both feet and arms up. It's okay. You are still getting that ab workout with your feet on the earth. But if it is comfortable for you, we're in a boat pose, and let's just do our low boat to high boat. Low boat to high boat. Let's do two more. Low boat to high boat. Low boat to high boat, and let's stay. Stay, stay, stay. I know it's hot. We're in our boat. Now, let's put hands together in front, and now we're gonna roll the boat. So let's take our arms, hands are clasped to the left, to the right. To the left, remember we are on St. Clair, rowing our boat, maybe going on a fishing trip. To the left, to the right. High boat once more, and then let our boat fall out on the earth. Take a drink of water, wipe your brow, swear at me in your mind. Don't do that. Inhale, exhale. Okay, let's get into a bridge pose. So feet on the earth, knees are bent. Arms at your side. Comfortable here, let's catch our breath. We want to get into a bridge pose. So let's lift up off the earth. Buttocks are in. Make sure you are trying to bring in that belly button, pull it towards spine. And if you like, you can take your arms sort of under your shoulder blades, clasp your hands so you can get a little higher in your bridge pose. And let's breathe and bridge. Let's release to the earth. Take a couple breaths here. And on an inhale, we'll go back to bridge pose. And a release. Let's draw knees into chest and just give yourself a hug. Rock side to side, massaging the lower back. Just keep rocking. And drop your knees to the right. Do another spinal twist, knees to the right. And you can have your hands, if space allows, to a T, or you can have them up like cactus arms. But knees drop to the right.
Arms are to a T if that's available, and then look to the left. And you should feel a nice stretch on the left side. So the wringing out of those organs on the left side. A couple breaths here. Let's take our knees back to center. Drop them over to the left. And now look to the right. And breathe. Knees are back to center. Hug them in. And again, give that lower back a massage. And we're going into Savasana. If there are any more postures you need before we settle in to rest, go ahead and take them. Anything you need right now that your body needs to stretch. None. If you are ready for Savasana, you stretch your legs out on the mat in corpse pose, as we call it. You're flat on your back. Hands are facing up. And just breathe. Appreciating what your body was able to do in these 30-35 minutes together. Giving yourself that appreciation. As you start to wake up, start to wiggle the fingers. Walk your thumb across each of your forefingers. Wiggle the toes. And roll to your favorite side. And we'll rest there in a fetal position. Your favorite side.
feel free to stay in Savasana. When you're ready, we'll meet again at the beginning of the mat, at the front of the mat, as we did at the beginning of class. Hands at heart center. Thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide today in your yoga practice. I appreciate your patience and I appreciate your feedback. I hope you take this practice with you for the rest of your day and let it be your guide as you deal with everything that you have going on in your life. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you guys. Let me turn that off. Okay, that was 36.